First, what we need to do is start the database in the new Oracle home where you have the patches applied. And remember, you need to start the database in normal mode and open all the PDBs. If you don't open all the PDBs, those PDBs that are not opened won't be patched. So they will be skipped. And then if you decide to open them later, they will have a PDB plugin violation saying that you need to run Datapatch on them. Okay. So again, you start the database in this new Oracle home, and also you open all the PDBs, and finally you call the Datapatch utility that is inside Oracle home/opatch, and this utility will patch all your databases and PDBs. One important thing to remember is to always recompile invalid objects before you invoke Datapatch. The reason why is because then you will know if Datapatch caused any object to become invalid after you executed it. So you can know exactly the objects that became invalid because of Datapatch. Okay? So now let's see that in a patching timeline. Again, first you run utlrp. Then you shut down your database. Now, why you shut down the database? Because you're going to be moving this database to the new Oracle home where you have the patches applied. So you stop the database, you start it back in this new Oracle home. And don't forget the database must be opened, and also all the PDBs that you want to patch, they need to be opened. So ideally, open all the PDBs of this database. And another thing to have in mind is that you don't need to open the database in restricted or in upgrade mode. You can simply open it in normal mode. There are a lot of people that use those two modes in the past because they thought it was a requirement, but it's not a requirement. You can have your database opened in normal mode to perform the patching operation. So the only downtime you had during this process was during the shutdown and the startup of your database. At this point, after you start up and open all the PDBs, you can allow your application and users to connect on this environment. There is a very good blog post from Daniel from our team, and he shows how and why you can have users connect in the database while the Datapatch is running, and also the potential problems that you can face. So users start connecting your database, and now you call Datapatch. And again, during the Datapatch execution, you can have potential concurrency. So that's a side effect of having users connected while you're running the Datapatch operation. For example, let's say a user is using DBMS stats to gather statistics of a given table. And at the same time, Datapatch is trying to replace this package with the newer patched version of it. So in that case, we will have a concurrency, and what Datapatch will do is it will try to acquire a lock for 15 minutes. And if it cannot get that object after 15 minutes, then it will have an error and timeout, okay? You can efficiently find the blocked sessions and kill it while Datapatch is waiting for those locks. And if you want to change this timeout period, you can use this _KGL time to wait for locks parameter. But we don't recommend you touching this parameter unless guided by an Oracle support engineer, okay? Datapatch uses registry $SQL patch to document everything that happened regarding patch apply in your dictionary, and also patch rollback. So every time Datapatch applies or roll back a given patch, it will add a new entry. So every time Datapatch is called, a new row is added on this table. That's like a history table of all the Datapatch actions in your database. Datapatch will automatically recompile only the objects that were invalidated during the patching operation. So let's say you had 10 invalid objects before you started Datapatch. Those 10 invalid objects won't be recompiled by Datapatch, okay? It will only recompile the objects that the process made invalid. And if more than 300 objects are invalidated, then no recompilation takes place. The reason why is because this can take a lot of time. So we recommend you to recompile it manually, or the objects will recompile on usage, meaning when you try to use that package that is invalid, the Oracle database, before allowing you to execute it, will try to recompile it. You can officially adjust that threshold. You can use in the Datapatch command this -recomp threshold parameter and change this 300 default to another number. And always consider recompiling invalid objects after patching. So you remember our timeline? After the patching operation is done, run also a util RP after the Datapatch process, okay?